Thank you, Jeff. What I'm going to talk about a little bit is the connection between trade policy and industrial policy. So whenever I talk about trade policy, I like to start first thing out of my mouth. I am with the Fair Trade Coalition, and my day job is with SPIA. We are all 100% in favor of trade. The SPIA members make products that the rest of the world wants to buy. The issue is not trade or no trade. The issue is a good trade policy or a bad trade policy. Now, I can tell a good trade policy because it raises my standard of living, and I can tell a bad trade policy because it lowers my standard of living. So again, in policy in general is usually, when you get down to it, it's about winners and losers. So trade policy whatever your trade policy is, it will pick winners and losers. So I'd like you to think about two trade policies. We have a clean sheet of paper here. One trade policy will be based on free markets and free trade, and the actions that you'll see are globalization, deregulation, and privatization. And the way we would design this policy, the interests of investors are foremost, right? The investor interests come first, and everybody in civil society, the environment, labor rights, human rights, public health, all that comes second. So if you were going to design a policy like that, it would look just like our free trade policies. The key interest here, the winners, are investors. And the way this is usually discussed is by policy people is, you can do whatever you want with civil society. You can protect turtles or porpoises or clean air or labor rights, whatever you want, as long as the investors get what they want first. Now, there's another way we could design policy, which is the way we've run America for a long, long time. In that case, we have a strong civil society, a strong institutions, a strong middle class, and we balance the interests of civil society and investors. So that's how we industrialized. For different historical reasons, that's how Japan and Korea and Singapore industrialized, how Germany runs their economy today. If you were going to design a trade policy where all the interests are balanced, it would look a lot like what we have had in America. So when we cooked up this ridiculous free trade thing, we assumed that our strong middle class and our strong institutions of civil society would protect us. In fact, what's happened is all these free trade agreements have have come back to hurt us now, and they have weakened our institutions of civil society, weakened our middle class. So if you had, on the one hand, if you had all the interests balanced, the theme would be, we all do better when we all do better. Right? That's what Paul Wellstone said. And the purpose of policy would be to raise my standard of living. If instead you prioritize investor interests, the theme that you'll see is make business succeed, and you'll sweep aside all the interests of civil society, and that's the result. So again, if you think about industrial policy, trade policy, environmental policy, social justice policy, labor policy, tax investment, R&D, all those investments that you want to make as a community, you can do that in a coherent way. That would be a different trade policy than the one we have today.
My name is